Hey there folks, I'm Shittiest JG, and I want to welcome you back to Let's Play Mega Man 2, Mega Man Legacy Edition. We are in a bit of a pickle here. I stepped away from the game for a week. Probably not that wise, because now I'm coming back cold to play what might be the toughest stretch for us. We either fail or succeed fairly quickly, but we have an E-Tank, which is going to be very useful against the two-form Wily boss at the end of this boss rush. Problem is, I got no lives in reserve, so I can't afford to lose against the 8 Robot Masters on my way. I've got to do this whole thing in one life, or get game over, continue, and have full ammo, but not have the ability to actually fight using the E-Tank against Dr. Wily. Luckily, I'm pretty sure I know the order of the teleporters. This will be the last game in which that'll be the case. This might be the last game which I even remember the weaknesses. We got Heatman in the top left. We got Airman in the middle left. I think it's Woodman in the bottom left. So that's actually the toughest set right there. Bubbleman directly below us here. Quickman below us there. Crashman is bottom left. Left center is, I think, Metalman, and top left is Flashman. So these three on the right are the easy guys. And then we've got the hard guys on the left. I'm going to try to take out Airman first. I do not like fighting Airman. As a kid, I always thought Quickman was the toughest of the Robot Masters, but coming back and replaying it, Airman is the one that's, like, hard for me to defend against. But I did that perfectly. Deal is, you don't want to end up on this teleporter as the boss is defeated, or you will teleport out and you won't get a chance to pick up the health pickup. And the health pickups are obviously very important. Take on Woodman next, because he's the next most annoying to me, and I've never ever been able to beat Woodman without taking damage. I don't even know if it's possible. Those leaves coming from the top of the screen, I have no ability whatsoever to avoid those. Sure, it's possible, but I can't do it. Woo, nasty. Get set for nasty sensation. Alright. Let's take on somebody easy. Let's take on Crashman, because I got to get some health back. I'll come out of the fight with him with fairly decent health. We'll do, let's see how much damage Airman does. Can probably take on Quickman now. I think I've got enough health. Save the easiest guys for the end, to make sure we've got full health against Dr. Wily. Quickman, interestingly enough, takes damage from not being allowed to move. Flashman's Time Stopper actually damages Quickman. It's the only Robot Master against whom Flashman's weapon is useful anyway. So that went okay. Not great. If I don't fuck up against Heatman, we should be good. At least to get to the Wily boss. I don't have a lot of... Even with an E-Tank, I'm not sure about beating the Wily boss without having practiced in a long time. I hate that thing's attack pattern. It's really tough for me to avoid. Especially the second form. That's why I need E-Tank. It's like, just gonna tank it, basically. Okay, that could have gone better. But, we're out of bosses that really give me that much trouble. Let's do Metal Man next. Now, Metal Man's weak against his own Metal Blade. On normal difficulty, one shot of his own weapon kills him. On hard difficulty, it takes 2. But I'm trying to save Metal Blades to use against the Dr. Wily boss. So, let's try to fight him with his other weakness, which is Quick Boomerangs. Actually, with Quick Boomerangs, I end up just tanking them, so that's not super great either. Hopefully we got enough Metal Blades to beat Bubbleman and Flashman and still have a few for the Dr. Wily boss. Okay, well, we'll at least get to the Wily boss. Hopefully I can actually take it out. Okay, so we got to it with full health. We've got some metal blades. I don't really know what it's weak against. So we'll fight the first form using our pea shooter. Hope for... And if we can survive, or use an E-tank, or whatever we gotta do. See, these blasts are really tough for me to avoid. But they get worse in the second point. That's not too bad there. I'm just gonna out here for a second. Okay, now I gotta spam Metal Man weapon and hope for the best. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, you don't have any idea how much of a relief that is. I thought I was screwed. Because I definitely needed that E-tank. I've beaten that thing before without an E-tank, I'm sure, years ago on original hardware and all that, but, oh, that was just a big relief. All right, folks, going to call it a video here. When we come back, yeah, that ended up being very short. Maybe I should just finish the whole thing, and what the hell, this is a bonus stage we're not even supposed to know about. I'll try to finish it in one go here. So you start off falling deep into the earth. Full health. We don't have full Bubble Man weapon, unfortunately. Because this game begins the tradition that Mega Man games will go with from now on. Now, the biggest change for me in this game, biggest advancement in the history of the Mega Man franchise as far as I'm concerned, forget the Charge Buster, forget sliding. The biggest advancement was adding a continue system, because that made this game so much more enjoyable to play as a kid than the original Mega Man, where the frustration of having to beat the Iceman stage every single time you played through is pretty incredible. Now we have this sequence, trying to avoid damage, and there is a little splash where they're still doing damage to you after, and they do a lot of damage, as you can see. I guess it's lava or acid, I don't know. So I kind of misremembered there as being an opportunity to get power-ups at the end of this. There isn't. You just have to try really hard to avoid taking damage. And then you get to the end, and the great tradition that I started referring to before and then got distracted is that this boss is immune to every weapon except for the hardest one to use, and the one that seems the most worthless and lame. That'll be a big thing in Mega Man games to come. The final boss, susceptible only to one weapon, and it's one that otherwise sucks. Dr. Wily, we've cornered you at last. Finally, we'll put a stop to your evil... What the... What? Dr. Wily is an alien! Holy shit, dudes! Anyway, Wily does big damage if you touch him, and you gotta hit him with Bubble Weapon, which is impossible to freaking hit anything with. Doesn't do that much damage to him. Don't know that I'll do this on the first try here. Matter of fact, I won't. So maybe I should let this spill over into another video after all, but it's okay. Now we've got... Continues. Never thought that I would get to the final boss with an E-tank, and I'm pretty sure I can beat the final boss without an E-tank. It just might take me a few tries. Oh, I wonder if I can use, yeah, you can use Flashman weapon here. I guess I'd forgotten about that. That would make this much easier. I probably should have saved it for after getting past the first few, which aren't that bad. Yeah, definitely should have saved it. Although I think I threw off the pattern of those by using Flashman's weapon. Because I think they start being ready to drop as soon as they're on screen. So by having all of them on screen at the same time, I had them all dropping at the same time. So anyway, Dr. Wily is an alien. Holy crap, this is a shocking swerve. I mean, when I was playing this with Bobo as kids, it was pretty shocking. He's got terrifying glowing red ribs. And you've got to dodge him like 800 times successfully because each shot you do does so little. I guess I should be doubling up my attacks. You definitely don't want to touch Dr. Wily. He does a lot of damage. But so does Blast. I got him about halfway dead there. And now we have to go through this all again, and this time we don't get to use Flashman's weapon to make it easier. Do have enough bubble lead left, though. Basically, if you fail against him twice, there's a decent chance you won't have enough bubble lead to actually get the job done. You might as well just game over against these guys and continue. So close, and then screwed up right at the very end. As I begin again to wonder if I shouldn't have just had a short video where I defeated the boss rush. I've been wondering if I'm going to need to go to the bathroom before we can get through the credits if I don't win this thing fairly soon. Scary star field of doom is scary, and fitting with the true alien nature of Dr. Wily, as we're finding out. And I got to be a little bit more conservative with my bubble lead, because now I am looking to run out of it. And I might as well just get game over, because now I don't think I've got enough bubble lead left to actually do it. There you go, quick game over. And there's no music, which actually, as a kid, I remember makes it feel really tense. Just having the echoey sounds of this acid or whatever the hell it's supposed to be. Probably far enough in now that I could freeze and get through. Guess not. Should have waited. And, but yes, I promise you, everything else doesn't work, and it makes that great Mega Man 2 noise of hitting an enemy that is immune to it. Right off the bat, get hit. Damn it. Stop sucking. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I mean, you see how much damage you take from actually hitting the Dr. Wily alien instead of its blasts? That's insane. It is the final boss of the game, and it's only got one form, so I mean, you know, they can't make it too easy for the kiddies. It's not the hardest boss in the Mega Man series. I would give that to the final boss of the first PlayStation Mega Man game. Mega Man 7, I think. It had this boss, there's this weird form that it appeared to like rip through the background of its own chamber as though it was ripping through a piece of paper. I remember that one being a real bitch. But it was also Form 2 of a 2-form boss, which is part of what made it so nasty. Get set for next sensei. I might call it here, actually, if I keep losing, I might just take a little break so that I can actually, you know, use the little boys' room. It just didn't seem like I had enough content for a video just fighting the boss rush, since I had fairly good luck clearing it. But I might have it here. Sometimes you don't have a good opportunity and you just gotta let it go. Like that time. It's more important to avoid taking damage. I'm feeling pretty good here about this. And I'm like getting really animated in my chair, which I don't usually do when playing video games as an adult. I know there are Let's Players who can watch them on the camera jostling around. Grimmith comes to mind as somebody who gets pretty into it sometimes. I'm not usually that guy, but I'm kind of like jerking my head around trying to avoid, like, physically avoid the shots, JG. But we done it. We used our bubble lead to defeat the alien Dr. Wily did. What? You mean it was just some weird drone? And we were fighting in an hallucinatory chamber? And Dr. Wily's actually a person? Wow. That don't beat all. But he's finally admitted defeat, folks. And now that Dr. Wily has admitted defeat, we'll be able to put him in prison, and he won't be able to harm anyone ever again. And the next Mega Man game will have a new villain. Almost sure of it. So Mega Man now walking home, putting on Heat Man costume so as to look like he's in sync with the autumn leaves falling. I guess. No longer sporting his Elvis hair. But when winter hits, he decides to dress as Bubble Man. And by dress as Bubble Man, I mean equip Bubble Man's weapon, but in no way actually resemble Bubble Man. Then as spring comes and the cherry blossoms start to bloom, he switches to Quick Man colors. And we're going to run out of seasons before we... I guess Airman is now equated with the rain. You would think that's Bubble Man. We're going to run out of seasons before we run out of colors. Regular old Mega Man is a creature of the summer. Game like this isn't really about the ending, folks. Mega Man beats Dr. Wily, takes off his helmet, goes home. That's it. Not exactly an in-depth, character-driven ending, but I always, as a kid, loved these end credits because I freaking love the music. I love the fact that Metal Man was played by Masanori Satao. I like the idea of the bosses getting credited as though they were characters. Takashi Tanaka, hidden smoke man. Who's playing Quick Man this time? Oh, it's Hirofumi Mizuguchi. He's one of the best Quick Men ever. Akira Yoshida as Crash Man. I have not been paying enough attention to really notice if Tomoto Yamaguchi, if anybody is credited as more than one... Tamu Yamaguchi is credited as more than one Robot Master. I remember as a kid, as many of us go through a phase where we want to make video games when we grow up. I remember the credits to this game inspired me to want to make video games when I grew up. I haven't really seriously thought about that in a long time. But as a kid, when this game came out, I thought that would be pretty cool. And I told my mom, who's like, thought that would be like the most like underachieving thing I could possibly do. And it was like way underneath the dignity of her son to be involved in making video games. That being said, when I meet adults today who are not already involved in programming, who talk about wanting to make video games, I do tend to kind of sigh and think, you know, come on guys. Somebody has to make video games. It's weird though. I mean, we're in a world now where there's on Fishman. Of course, there's tons of video games that are made. Thank you for playing. Most of them never make any real money. There's only a handful that are really like produced. Like you go into a store, there's like 100 games that you can download now for every game that you can actually buy a disc in a store. But I didn't mean to get off on a whole big serious tangent about video games. It's just yeah, I remember when I was a kid, these credits made me think it would be really cool to see my name listed in credits like that. But today I work in industry that has nothing to do with video games, and I do okay. All right, folks, so this was presented by Capcom USA. This, I guess I've kind of committed to trying to play through all the Mega Man games. I guess I could stop at any time. I mean, you know, I can stop whenever I want to. I'm not an addict, shut up. But I'll press on at least through 3. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll be like halfway through, maybe like the 5th time I die on fucking Ringman stage. I'll be like, fuck it, and not finish. But the plan is to press forward with this. But this was the game probably I was looking forward to the most. It's the Mega Man game that I know the best. Mega Man 3 I played through and beat multiple times as a kid, but not as many times as Mega Man 2, and I just don't remember it as well. And then once we get into Mega Man 4, 5, and 6, we're talking about things that Bobo and I rented over a weekend that we probably beat, but never, you know, we didn't have the kind of multiple playthroughs, experimenting with different ways to win the game that we did with this one. And this, I feel like maybe just the iconic intro and it showing up in, like, you know, Who Wants to Be the Guy and stuff like that. But this is the game that I think most people think of when they think back with fondness on the 8-bit Mega Man games. And it's a hell of a fun game, folks. It really is. Later Mega Man games will give you the charge-up P-Buster weapon, sliding. Mega Man X, I guess, gives you wall jumping. I don't think you have wall jumping in any of the Mega Man games starring, like, Mega Man and not X. Am I the only one who doesn't actually understand? Is Mega Man X supposed to be Mega Man? Whatever. It's like a different universe, I guess, or it's set in the future of Mega Man series. I'm not sure, but whatever. But no, this game had the added bonus of the continue feature, which meant that you could frickin' play the game when you had a couple of hours, or not even a couple hours. You could play the game if you had an hour or two, and you didn't have to beat it all in one sitting. And that gave it a huge boost to its replayability. You didn't have to get like insanely good at each short section of the game in order to beat it in a short amount of time. You could afford to like die and have to continue a couple of times and not have it turn into I am going to freak out and start screaming and crying because I just spent 2 hours trying to beat this game and now Mom is making me turn it off and do my homework and I've lost all my progress. Such a huge thing. I don't think if there's one thing that like modern, you know, the kiddies playing video games now. Those kids, when I was young, we walked uphill to school both ways. But in all seriousness, they talk about Nintendo tough. I think the idea of Nintendo tough is kind of bullshit, to tell you the truth. The thing about the old school Nintendo games is that you had to beat it in one sitting, and you lost all your progress if you lost. So these quote unfair deaths were so much more frustrating. Like, if you're playing a game and you got infinite continues, or if you have got, like, built-in save stating, like, you know, you go back and play any of the old Mario games, and now they always give you the ability to save your progress and pick it up later. It's just a totally different experience when you're like, I'm getting really frustrated by World 8-1. I'm going to put this game away and pick it up in a week and go back to 8-1 and not have to play back to 8-1 from World 1-1. That's the thing. And Mega Man 2, just the sheer fact that, you know what, I'm going to take another crack at Wily's stage, but I don't have to fight my way through frickin' Iceman stage to get to Wily's stage, which is already frustratingly difficult. That's huge. And you being forced to beat all the Wily stages in one shot was still something. Now, I don't even know, the Mega Man games that are to come in my Let's Play series, we will have this recurring theme where the Wily stages come at the very end, but there's some intermediate thing between you fight the 8 robot masters and get their weapons. Then you got some stages that are put together once you have all 8 weapons that you have to deal with before you get to the Wily stages. That'll be a recurring theme from now on. But I'm pretty sure in most of them, let's say, for example, I guess spoilers, maybe Dr. Cossack is coming up as a villain. You fight him, and then after you fight Dr. Cossack, you have to go fight somebody else. But the Dr. Cossack stages, he's in Mega Man 4 as the nominal villain. I think if you beat Dr. Cossack stages, you get a new continuation point, a new password input before you go to the stages that come after his stages. So you don't have to beat all of his stages and then all of the other enemies' stages all in one shot. So that's just a big freaking deal. And it's something that people who play like the Mega Man Legacy Collection, where you can save and load your game, you just can't understand how big a freaking deal that is. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for this Let's Play. I managed to get 30 minutes almost of content out of that last bit because I had 6 or 7 minutes worth and then decided to go a little longer, which turned into a lot longer. But we're done. Don't know just how quick I'll jump on it, but next time we're together, folks, we will be starting Mega Man 3. I'm the Mysterious JG. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.